Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. We are the Abrams.
So good to be here again. I am Toby and here's my wife. What's your name? I forgot your name.
Yeah, you forgot my name.
Kiligbe, forget your name.
Kiligbe, I will take your meat.
Okay, so this is my lovely wife, Ayomide, and together we are the Abrahams. So happy to be here again. If you're a new subscriber,
welcome to the Abraham family.
We just want you to keep following, keep subscribing, and keep viewing our channel. And if you're a returning subscriber too, welcome again.
Good to have you here.
Thank you for being with us all.
Guys, make sure you go through our videos.
Yes,
we have about
indeed.
46 videos now.
Lots
And
of
trust me, those contents are worth your time. Informative, they're educating, spiritual, just a whole lot of things you need. If you need knowledge on how to plan a wedding, budget wedding, it's there.
Yeah, I mean, she has even been mentoring a couple of people.
That's right. I've had a couple people call me in recent time about, I want to get married, this and this, I feel overwhelmed. What would they tell me? This and I feel like I should even start.
Yeah. A master class on that.
As in seriously, because honestly, glory to God, when I finished speaking to them, a lot of them returned very, very happy.
Yes.
Like they just find solution. What they thought was really big, they just find solution ASAP. So go back for all those videos, national issues, a lot of things. We also spoke about ourselves, and then a lot of examples and lessons for you to learn.
Alongside resources that you could use, for instance, the planning and the budget list.
We have a budget list there, we have a Google Sheet for planning, everything, your budget, how to, a lot of things.
Yeah. Alright, so we thought to come to you in another very interesting way today. So babe, what are we doing today?
Okay, today we are discussing a very interesting topic, and we want to talk about not looking at promise. We want to talk about relationships today, love relationship leading to marriage, some of the things that you should look out for or should not look out for. But the major topic we're discussing today is not making promises, a person's promising future to be the primary reason why you're choosing to marry them. So we are saying that you should marry a person's pattern. You should find something that attracts you about a person, and not just, the promising future. Or I think in the next 5 years, this is what this person will become. That kind of a thing. That's it.
Wow. So does it mean now that we shouldn't take future into consideration when someone, for instance, a lady in a relationship comes to meet you and like, I have a guy, he has an uncle with a great estate, and the uncle is sick. Please excuse the pound. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think our neighbors are just saying something like
okay. Alright, so the uncle is on the sick bed, and all of a sudden you feel like it's time to cash out. Is that what you mean by the future?
Okay. Now, it is very important to note that we used to say a lot of things. This person looks like he's going to have a great future. This person looks like he has a he has great potential. He has a promising future. That is very, very important, because everybody, unless you don't have a sight of what your own future should look like, do you understand? However, we don't live in the future. As a matter of fact, was it not Charles, one of the writers that I studied earlier in my life, said something, and he said that there is actually no future anywhere, because the future that you're looking forward to tomorrow is actually the today that you live. Like how you live today is what would determine your future. Do you understand? So that's why the popular saying that future is not, how do they say, it's not imagined or something, it is built. So it is what you built into your future. What we call yesterday, for instance, was at some point a future. Do
Yeah.
Do you agree with me? Do you agree? When we were in March, for instance, April was future for us. However, now April is past. So really what we call future is just a passage of time that we will eventually arrive at, that we are not yet there. Do you understand? So it's just basically what you're doing today that is going to either amplify. That is going to amplify. That's it. It is what you're doing today that will amplify. So whether you're doing the good things, it will amplify in what we call the future. Whether you're doing the wrong things, it will amplify in what we call the future. So categorizing or analyzing the future of a person that you want to marry, maybe a guy has come to ask you and you're analyzing the future, it's not wrong. However, how about the present? That's the question. What is happening now? Because you can literally draw insights for the future from what is happening now.
It's called future prediction. It's called prediction or
projection. What is he doing now? How serious is he now? What do you like about him now?
So someone that's a drunkard now and is telling you that in the next 5 years is going to be the next Bill Gates. you should be
well,
worried.
maybe money terms, but if you watch all our other videos, there are a lot of things to look out for. When and we'll still do more. So it's not just about money. And in fact, even we as Christians, spiritual people, it is possible for you. This is how I put it. I put it like it is better to marry a work in progress than to marry a promising future. That's how I put it, like a promising future in quotes. Because even us as Christians, it's very easy for you to see a brother in fellowship, brother praise. Every time the brother just says grace like this, everybody is falling under the anointing and everything. And it's possible for you to be carried away with what? As this guy is going, he will soon become the Mike Oropo of the next salesman. He will soon become the next salesman. And because of that, he came to you and you said yes. That was the only thing. What? There's no other thing today that's like attracts you. There's no other thing today, like in the present, right now, that, you know, this is what I always tell ladies when we speak. I always tell them that you have to, if I know ladies, but male and female, I always tell them that you have to ask yourself when you're considering to enter into a relationship or to settle down with somebody maritally, you have to ask yourself this very important question. And the question is, if nothing changes about this person that I'm saying yes to, if forever, like let's just assume that forever nothing changes about this person, they remain the same, will I still be contented? Now that's a very important question that you have to ask yourself. Now the answer would determine if you're with the right person, if you're with the wrong person. So if your answer is, or if you are the right person for them or you are the wrong person for them, because it could be the two. So if your answer is that no, if nothing changes, no, I'm hoping in my projection, I'm hoping that in the next 5 years this guy would have, you know, with all these things I'm seeing, you know, his plans to, you know, many people say yes to guys just because they have plans to travel out.
Yeah, I mean,
particularly because of the situation of the country, or a lot of people do that. So they look, this guy, he has plans to travel out of Nigeria. You know, like Sabinus, they are calculating the investment potential in the relationship. So they're like, this guy has plans to travel. In fact, he has gotten his international passport. He has started processing his visa. If I say yes to this guy now, and he told me that he will travel with his spouse, or I know that the kind of visa he's processing is a visa that requires him to maybe come along with his spouse, that kind of a thing. If I say yes to him now, it means that in the next 6 months I will land for Canada. You know, so you know you're calculating and everything. And that forms an idol in your heart. And that is what you're projecting into.
And that even forms the basis of your loving the person, or the basis of your relationship with the person. That is a wrong basis, first of all. Because that this thing is liable to crash at any point in time. It's not a stable foundation. It's not something that's like what Jesus said, when you build a house on sand, instead of deep down on the rock. You build it just on sand. That foundation is very flimsy. If, for instance, anything happens when you get to the place, the guy doesn't have any family, he doesn't have any collateral, anything to even work with.
Or what happens if his visa gets denied?
Expired or denied.
And all of a sudden your traveling out dream now looks like enters, it's now crumbled. You suddenly stop liking the person. You suddenly, your affection will suddenly be withdrawn.
So clearly that was the wrong basis in the first
place. These are issues because many times bless our fathers of faith as a Christian, people who have taught us in the way of the Lord and everything. But a time began to come. I began to teach people that certain things we've been taught, the intentions were right. But certain things, the way we've been taught, they didn't mean that while they were saying it, but how we, our generation, interpret those things were wrong. For instance, I'll give you an example. A man of God, for instance, comes to say, oh, there's this lady who I asked out, she refused to marry me, and now 10 years later, here am I. It's a man of God, I'll see his cars, he's popular, the Lord is using him, heavily anointed, well sought after, fame, wealth, money, and all of those other things. So, and he has everything. And when he's saying that now, it gives the impression like the lady who said no to him is at a loss.
Made a mistake.
Do you get it? So I began to tell people, correct the nation, that it is not right. The very fact that the lady said no to that kind of a man of God. If I said no, there were people that I said no to, for instance. In fact, there was a time I shared on my Facebook page about a particular scenario, how that the guy had asked me after a couple of years, and he was so sure, and he'll be telling me, say yes to me, that kind of like, say yes to me for your good, and everything, this kind of a thing, because, project myself, I'm going to be a very powerful man of God, and at some point he told me, I see you as a ministry gift, so you better align, that kind of a thing and everything. Now the question now today is, I'm married to my husband, right? What happens if glory. So what happens if tomorrow now that guy suddenly becomes so popular, it suddenly becomes the Emmanuel Irene of our time, or suddenly becomes the Apostle Joshua Selma of our time, and everybody's searching for him, everybody's shouting his name and say, have you heard about so, have you heard about so? Should I suddenly start feeling like a failure? Like I didn't marry the right person just because? Absolutely not. So you as an individual, particularly as a lady, you have to know what you're marrying in a man right now.
So you have to own your decision.
Exactly.
Don't let some others come and tell you that you see that guy now, his uncle is rich, his father is rich, you better go and get into a relationship.
He's the one that they will all the property to. So based on that, you calculate your movement like the way it's going. Or maybe the guy has a trust fund, for instance. There are people that have a trust fund, and at certain age they are liable to collect their trust fund. And you know that this guy will be able to collect his trust fund once he's 30. And the guy is 28 now, the guy is 29 now. And you are in your early 20s and the guy is asking you out, and you get to know that, and that forms your primary basis of saying yes to him. You did not even get to check other things, but you're just calculating that this trust fund, for instance, you heard that it was worth $10 million, for instance, that the trust fund is worth $10 million. You're like, wow, $10 million, that's a lot of money. And then you begin to calculate, if I say yes to this guy, that means that if we date 6 months, we plan within 6 months, that means by the time we are marrying into the wealth of the trust fund, and I can be balling, like I don't have to work all my life and be like, hey, prepared blessing. You walk into a prepared blessing, and you know that all you're calculating, but you never get to ask yourself that, okay, so what happens if all of a sudden something happens and this trust fund is nowhere to be found, will I still like this person?
Are you in love with the trust fund?
Oh no, the question should even be, what exactly does this person have that really makes me like them or feel like I can spend the rest of my life to them? Something that is tangible. The Bible says that we should not build our wealth, in material things where moths and all these things can eat them up. Do you understand? Something that is much more tangible. You see, that is.
We keep saying that money answers all things. But sadly, it's what our society has portrayed, but it's not always true. We have a lot of rich people who are down with a lot of illnesses that their money can't even heal, or they don't have as many children as they thought they would, or they've tried all sorts of IVF and this thing and it didn't work. They have money. Now, I'm not saying that you should look on the bad side, but what we are saying
definitely,
is that
definitely
own your decision when it comes to love. This person you are loving, are you loving them for what they have, for what they are likely to become in the future,
or for who they are,
or for the processes that are sustaining their life right now,
that's right,
which have the capability to make them into a gem of inestimable value. So the processes, and she said earlier, the patterns that are, is he a hardworking person?
Exactly.
Is he a disciplined person?
Exactly.
Is he someone who has integrity around ladies, that you leave him in the dark with other ladies and other people and he can still come out unscarred? Come out clean? Does he portray all of those attributes now? Or are you looking at someone who's a drunk, who's a womanizer, but he has money? And you say, like, look, this guy will change, don't worry, in the next future he will change, but let's get married first. And when you get married, I'll change him. I'm sorry, I'm not sure you don't have the capacity to change anybody. Unfortunately enough, you think you will change.
Even the person might not be necessarily bad.
Bad, okay.
They might not even be necessarily bad. They might be good people, all of those things. For instance, you meet somebody on campus, you're dating the person on campus. They have this, they are good people, at least in quotes, they come to church, they're doing well with their academics and everything. They say, okay, of course, when you want to marry someone, nobody wants to marry somebody and say, this is how we're going to remain forever. In fact, the passage of time would not make you remain just like this forever. You will either be getting worse or you'll be getting better. That's it. The passage of time, nothing stays neutral when it's left to time. No, it's based on the passage of time, something would either get better or get worse. So it's not like that, I'm meeting this person, definitely you already know that your life should progress. Do you understand? But it's not now like you're now thinking that this guy, we can even do this thing in quote, as Christian, yet it is still lost and carnality. There's a way you can study the pattern of a person and say, this person is going to be great. Now, why that is also important in the choice is that's the primary reason. Say, the way this guy is going in the next 5 years, this guy will blow, whether spiritually blowing or financially blowing, and then you begin to follow the person, and then 5 years begin to come, and now one of the things that this thing will cause, it will cause undue pressure both on yourself and your partner, the person you're going out with, because you have a projection in your mind, which was the primary reason why you are with them. So what's happening? 4 years, 5 years. It's looking like what you projected is not coming true, and at that time, if any other option comes that looks like that result that you projected, that person has not yet achieved, you're most likely to follow the person, because it was actually that result that you projected that you were really after. That was really what you were dating. It wasn't their person, so to say. Do you understand? So it's very important that we don't marry we don't marry promises. Promises are great. I will do this for you, I will do that for you. You have a promising future, you will do that, this and this. They are great, but you have to own the person that you are seeing now.
Yep.
The qualities you are seeing now, everything you are seeing now, their discipline now, their love for God now, and everything now. Now, that the balance to this is that, that's why God has to direct you in the choice of who to marry. You know, there was a time that I'm talking too much. Babe, say something first before I say this.
Continue your story.
You know that there was a time that there was a rave that says that God doesn't choose spouses for people. I think we'll do a topic on that and discuss it fully. That God doesn't choose spouses for people. God stopped choosing spouses for people after the Adam and Eve scenario and everything. That so now what you admonished is that look for a Christian. Just make sure the person is Christian. The Bible says we should not marry those that are of how did the Bible put it? Those, exactly. You should not marry them. There's already the Bible position. You cannot remember.
I didn't know. It says be not
unequally yoked. You know, don't be unequally yoked. You need to marry somebody from that is not a believer. So they now said that. So your the primary basics you should look out for is just look out for a believer. Then look out for the qualities that you personally you like. So if I get my husband, I like him, his tall is this, or he has the kind of job that I like, this and that, and he's a believer, based on that, I can marry him. That's automatic approval with God. You know, at the time I began to I wasn't really sure because I began to, so I decided to go on a retreat to ask God. I think it was a 12-hour retreat to ask God, what exactly are you saying concerning this particular subject? Is this how it is, or do you still lead people? Do you still choose people? You know, and we will discuss that another day, but this is what I want to bring out from it. God sees the future. It's 10 years from now. In fact, God doesn't see 10 years from now. He's in 100 years from now, and in today and in yesterday at the same time. Like, it is us that has that demarcation of day, because we have the sun. The Bible says the sun and the night. Sabia did he put it? He said, and it was the next day. So the sun and the night is actually the demarcation that divides yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It's like the wall. But God doesn't have that wall, right? So it is God that knows what would happen in the next 10, 15 years. So just because the person is a believer doesn't mean the person is fit for you. And because you can't see into the next 10 and 15 years yourself, you have to trust somebody who practically lives there to guide you. So somebody can be a believer, they are well behaved, they don't have any bad trait or anything, and yet the Holy Spirit can give you a no signal in your heart and say, no, it's not this person. So why I brought about that is that, you know, projecting into people's future, like, oh, this person has a promising future. Anything can change in the future.
Yep.
Because you're not yet there. Why we believe that patterns is what will eventually build into a future, so you can literally trace what the future will be like. There are other unseen circumstances. God forbid, there are things like that. You know, Apostle Oroko was speaking and said one of the ladies that was introduced to him, that they wanted to arrange for him to marry, died sometimes last year. And he was saying that, so after the lady died, he was beginning to think that, what if I had not heard God? What if I had not followed the leading of God when God put that thing in my heart that this lady is everything perfect, but she's not the one? What if I had followed, you know, those elderly people and all those people who really like now introduced? By now, I would have been a widower.
So essentially, what we're saying now is we need the place of, you need to be able to, alongside what we're saying, to balance it out, you need to be able to hear God. Let God direct you. God, who lives in all of these time frames, can tell whose person's future is actually the best. It could be the person who does even the most unlikely person today that will become something tomorrow when God directs you. So alongside your assessment of their patterns, of what they are today, alongside your assessment as well of their pockets and how that affects you right now.
Yeah.
Alongside your assessment of their visa, the kind of international visas that they have, let God guide you
Yes.
Don't just say that I just want to marry someone
You have
whose
figured it out
values
yourself.
fit with us. I think that's where we as humans went wrong a lot, because we tend to, the things that God actually meant, designed for us to be a part of, we put him out and we started to calculate it by ourselves. And then when we have problems, we come and meet him.
Investor Sabine.
So guys, babe, any final thoughts?
No guys, if you have questions on it, because I know that this topic is to bring a lot of questions. A lot of people, are you now saying? Are you now saying? Are you now saying? All the are you now saying? Please send it to us. We like to receive
We're happy
your questions
to receive
and everything.
to clarify your
Your confusion.
Your thoughts,
Yes, of course.
Your worries. Your worries. Okay, so
To become your way again, guys.
we are the
Abrahams. Have a nice day.